You know, I gotta be honest with you guys, man. I enjoyed the first couple of Dead Rising games, and all of the stuff that I've been hearing about Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster has been turning me off every single time I read about it, right? There's so many iterations that Capcom is trying to go back in time and remove the problematic stuff, right? They're trying to make this remaster for the modern audience. Well, apparently, they just went even further because now they're taking away the erotic photos of female characters, which was a reward in the game originally, and now it's no longer there.
Yeah. I think I want my money back.
And this is why on Saturday Night Hypnosis, our weekly live stream every Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I spoke about this regarding like Max Payne, right? Because they just recently announced that they're going to be remaking Max Payne 1 and 2. And we went back in time and we watched some YouTube clips from the opener of Max Payne and how absolutely fucking insane that opener is. And what are the chances that the modern audience is going to be able to view that opener in real time the way that we viewed it in the original Max Payne? It's almost slim to none, right? I highly doubt they're going to play out that scene the way that it played out in the first game, and they're probably going to either censor it completely or they're going to have the game take place shortly after that opening scene. They might show you a cutscene here and there without actually showing you what you saw in the original game, but ultimately it's going to be censored. This is the same exact thing, and this is why I keep pushing people to go play the original games, right? I understand you want to play the remaster, better graphics, all that stuff, totally get it, but at the end of the day, man, you're going to get a watered-down version of what made these games great in the first place. So let's get into this article from That Park Place, but of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. Capcom confirmed that its upcoming Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster removes rewarding players for taking erotic photos of female characters. As reported by Famitsu, the player character Frank West is able to earn prestige points by taking photos. Famitsu notes the more highly rated the photos taken, the more PP you will get. These prestige points can then be used to level up West and increase his stats, including attack, strength, stamina, and item stock. It also appears you can purchase skills with points as well. In the original game, though, players were awarded prestige points by taking erotic photos of various female characters in the game. This included photos of bare stomachs, panty shots, and more. As translated by D. Bell, Famitsu notes that this work does not have the evaluation point erotica that existed in the original version. So again, anybody shocked by this? Absolutely not, right? Like, I'm not shocked in the slightest. This is why I do not focus on buying remasters. Very rarely will you see me buy a remaster, right? I would be more likely to buy a remake than I would to buy a remaster because I would rather play the original game, right? Because if I like the game, I'd rather just play the original game. I'm not going to play the remaster that is going to remove all the shit that made me potentially like the original game in the first place, right? You're going to have a lot of shills in the industry try to say, well, the core gameplay is the same. The core game is the same. It doesn't matter. When you start censoring shit even slightly, it's annoying because you have people out here trying to play nanny for the internet. That's not your fucking job. It is not your job to tell me what's offensive to me or not. Just leave what's in the game originally, and I will decide if I can handle it or not. I cannot fucking stand these people out here that try to make it seem as if they're the ones that should be the arbiters of offense, right? They're the ones that should tell you whether or not to be offended by something or not. Go fuck yourself. I want to play the original game, and if I'm offended, guess what? I'm going to stop playing the game, or I'm going to refund the game, or I'm going to do whatever, right? Like, I'm not going to then make a fucking complaint and demand censorship because I got offended. That's the most insane shit that I've ever heard in my life. But here we are again with Capcom doing this shit again. Capcom is known for doing this. Capcom is one of the wokest companies out there by far. They're embracing DEI, ESG nonsense. There's no doubt about it. And it's very clear that they are going to continue doing this bullshit. So honestly, guys, I just don't get it. I don't fucking understand. What is the fucking point, right? Why would you want to do that? There is literally no point whatsoever to do this kind of stuff, and yet here we are clearly doing it, right? Are you trying to tank the game? Are you trying to make it something where the modern audience is not going to give you any fucking money whatsoever, right? Like, are you seriously trying to do this stuff? This is why I cannot support these remasters. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, ultimately, at the end of the day. Maybe some people think it's not that big of a deal. I totally get that. If you're in that camp of it's not that big of a deal, that's perfectly fine. But I think that if you start saying it's not that big of a deal, then you're slowly but surely starting to accept this kind of nonsense, right? There's no doubt about it that Dead Rising is a fun game, right? The Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster will probably be a fun game. I'm not arguing the fact of whether or not it's going to be a fun game. I'm arguing the fact of whether or not you're going to get the actual complete experience. If you're saying you're remastering a game, you're not remaking it. That means you're remastering it. You're making it modern in terms of graphics and gameplay and whatnot, but you're not remaking the game. The core game should be there. So when you start saying you're going to censor stuff, when you start saying you're going to take out certain things, that to me tells me everything I need to know, right? If you want an example, let's check out this clip here on YouTube. Hold on, let's see this clip. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty damn fucking hilarious. I was like, what the fuck? What is going on here? Are you just trying to dry hump her while zombies are surrounding you right now? Again, man, Dead Rising is fucking hilarious, bro. It's one of those games that is just not supposed to take itself seriously, which is why I have such a hard time believing that they're going to take out something that should not be taken seriously, right? The fact that you're taking out the erotica stuff and probably a bunch of other things too tells me that you don't understand the core concept of Dead Rising. Dead Rising is a game you're not supposed to take seriously. Dead Rising is a game that you're supposed to just have a fucking ball with. You're supposed to have a good time, just mess around, kill zombies. That's literally it. Why are you taking yourself so seriously that you're removing shit like this? Who got mad at this? That's what I want to know. Who got mad at this? Can you convince me and tell me who in the modern audience, right? And I'm sure there's so much of you, there really isn't. Who out there got offended at this kind of thing? Who got offended at it? Nobody, right? There's nobody that I know of that got angry over the fact that you could take erotic photos of characters in Dead Rising, a game that is literally the most fucking stupid concept, and yet here we are getting mad over 2D panties or 3D panties. It's fucking dumb, right? So I wonder what they're going to do to try to make up for this. I wonder how they're going to implement something that maybe, you know, will get you more prestige points in another manner. But still, this game is meant to be funny. It's meant to be jokey. And the fact that you're trying to take it so serious that you wanted to remove something and censor it just shows how sensitive you are. I cannot take people and developers seriously that get offended at this. I want to know what the conversation was like over at Capcom to try to censor something like this. Who thought this was a good fucking idea? I don't know. So ultimately, guys, whether or not you buy Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, that's up to you. Do what you want with your money, but I will definitely not be buying this. I'd much rather go play my original Dead Risings that I have, which were way better games in the first place anyway, and truly understood what it meant to just have a good time when you're playing the game. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.